What's your favorite phrases for telling someone to stop being a jerk? Okay bud. Time for a nap. Followed by the kung fu chokehold of course. I'm a first grade teacher. Please stop acting like a stink bug. Edit. Thank you for the silver kind friend. Another edit. I have a really great relationship with all of my students and teach a growth mindset so my students don't take this personally. I also only use this on very mature kids who have a good sense of humor and don't get their feelings hurt. My students make more growth than their peers, so please stop messaging me telling me I'm a shit teacher. What was that? Must be able to casually stare daggers at someone for full effects, especially when it's after someone mutters something passive-aggressively under their breath. I am a teacher and this can backfire. Student, mutters, fucking asshole. Teacher, what was that? Student, you ducking heard me. On the bright side, the problem is now out of my hands. On the downside, the problem is now way bigger than it was. Jane, your mouth is talking. You might want to look to that. My days of not taking you seriously are certainly coming to a middle. Edit. Thanks for all the love and the gold fellow browncoats. Stay shiny. I tried this on my girlfriend but she just said who the fuck is Jane? He robbed from the rich and he gave to the poor, stood up to the man and he gave him what for? Our love for him now ain't hard to explain. The hero of Canton, the man they call Haini. And my favorite line in that whole show. Malcolm Reynolds had such well-written dialogue, Christ. Are you okay? No. I got stabbed. Loved the way Hart asked Cole in True Detective whether he could see Texas from his high horse when he was an asshole about the church community. Another good one from Hart. You are the Michael Jordan of being a son of a bitch. My wife and I will use, start over. When one of us comes in hot about something. Hey. Did you move my damn shoes? Start over. Edit because this blew up. My wife and I love The Office and it was a Daryl quote to Michael once when he came at him too hot out of the gate. And we just used it as a reference for a while and then just started doing it. If you want to try it with your spouse, I would suggest bringing it up first to establish intent. If you just throw it on them when they are frustrated without any prior knowledge of it, I could see it making it worse sometimes. It's also supposed to be said very calmly, not yelled or having it escalate the situation anymore. To the people saying it's passive-aggressive, I mean, this is a thread about telling people they are being dick without directly telling them they are being a dick. Everything is going to be a little passive-aggressive. My fiancé and I use say it like you love me. Helps get us into the right mindset of who we are talking to. This time say it like you're eating a really hot mouthful of pizza but also taken a significant amount of ecstasy. Totally using this and asking my wife to do the same. Thanks. Don't get me wrong, we're a good team and always end up helping each other in the end, but I think this is concise enough to cut through the fuckery. Yup. And everyone has bad days. I had a teacher scream cease your shittery to a bully. Well, that's one way to get everyone on campus to immediately think you're the theater teacher if you're not. I am the theater teacher, bitch. I don't think that's very kind, when talking to children. Usually, that plus a disappointed look is enough to straighten them out if they're not entirely aware of their jerkishness. Affirmer, are you doing X? In a shocked and appalled voice when they're doing something they know they're not supposed to do is good at getting the same effect. For adults, I just say, please don't talk to me like that. It's harder to teach adults basic manners. It's harder to teach adults basic manners, Jesus. Include that and you've got something better. Edit. My most liked post by far is this. Thanks? I will say, some of my best burns come from my job. I'm paid to deal with kids all day. I didn't come here to deal with another kid for free. Maybe shorten it to I usually get paid to work with children. I need you to write my scathing comebacks for me. Do you have cash on you, or want to make a transfer? What are you talking about? Well, usually I get paid to teach children basic manners. Can you think of a kinder way to say that? Of course, with kids 90% is treating them like you are both working toward a solution, so it's all about asking in a helpful way. Once in Sunday school, I wrote the sentence the kid had said on the board and we all spitballed ways to say things lovingly. Then I tied it back to the scripture. / takes a bow. Of course, the kids were mostly excited to see shit on the board. Are you being kind? And can you think of a kind way to say that? Are such game changers with kids. Seriously, so often I have kids that are legitimately annoyed by another student's legitimately annoying behavior, and they lash out because they just don't know what else to do. We modeled, role-played, and discussed scenarios where the words "would you please stop?" could help us get along. Does it work all the time? No. Is it better than the automatic screaming of 26 kindergarteners? Yes. That's not going to get you what you're aiming for. Everything we do is either towards a goal or a reaction. Usually the above is a reaction to something that's a goal. Getting them to see their attitude is not going to get them there helps a lot. Someone's baking up a batch of frownies. Frown. That would either make me crack up or push me off the ledge. Totally gonna use it. Take about 10% off the top there. Wayne. How are you now? Good, and you? Ah, not bad. Fuck off, McMurray. No way some loaded toad like you's got a smoke show like Mrs. McMurray without some sort of government assistance. I spent $90,000 on law school tuition to learn govern yourself accordingly. If that is your understanding of the current agreement, we need to review the language so that your expectation levels can be set more appropriately. This comment made me put my phone down and reassess my life. It's been 52 minutes. How are things going for you now? Shook a little turd out of the bottom of my pants. I had an employee that asked that very thing, every single time I asked her to do anything. I'm not a yeller, at all. It was her passive-aggressive tactic of trying to get out of the work. The second or third time I heard it from her, I asked in response, in a very pleasant manner, what makes you think I'm yelling at you? I'm just adding things to your to-do list because that's my job. I'm not angry, and I'm not trying to rush you. The second time she heard that from me, she went to the GM and told him that I was the meanest person she'd ever worked for and couldn't take it. The GM was sure she had me confused with one of the two guys working there that actually could be mean and insensitive. I discovered afterwards that they had stopped asking her to do anything because she accused them of yelling at her. So her tactic had worked twice already. I just hated that it took a month for her to figure out she wasn't going to be able to reduce her workload to nothing. More context is required here. Someone brings me coffee greater than oh, bless your heart. Equals this person is an actual angel, they brought me coffee. Someone says a stupid thing to me greater than well. Bless your heart. Equals this person is a turd and an idiot and I want them to know it, but also I am not going to make a scene because I am classy, after all. Someone does a stupid thing in general and I am recounting the story greater than well bless his little heart equals I can say all the shit I want to and not feel guilty gossiping because well, bless his little heart. I don't personally use it because I would sound ridiculous doing so. But reading Reddit has informed me that bless your heart deals plus 100 psychic damage when used by a person from southern USA. Edit, spelling. Can we back up just a moment, because, and this is on me for misunderstanding, but it sounded like you said. I'm sure I must have misunderstood you, so silly of me. But it sounded for a teensy moment as though you were suggesting that the Ministry of Magic had ordered an attack on this boy. As a woman I like to use, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I didn't quite get what you said, the joke whenever a man makes a rude horny not funny at all comment. The look in their faces when they have to explain what they just said. Priceless. This is by far the most effective way I've found to counter bigotry or the jokes people make all the time, no aren't really acceptable, and think they can get away with anyways. Watching someone's face as they're forced to explain a joke made in bad taste is priceless. Making this person's day bad don't make your day better. I've done the Mr. Rogers would be so disappointed in you line before. I like the slight variant, you are not being the person Mr. Rogers thought you could be. Oi, fuck off and don't come back, it's rude but it's right, I think so. Did this to a coworker a few years back, but you really gotta muster the big dick energy I need you to take all that attitude wax on gesture and put it right here in your pocket, close hand, tuck into nearest pocket, and we can revisit the issue later. Walk away. Hey man. No one is here to start any trouble. We are all just having a good time. If you want to be the mean, aggressive, alpha dude, you're in the wrong place. None of us are interested in being tougher, or meaner or more clever than you. We'd love to have you hang out with us, but if you're going to act this way, I think you'd be better off somewhere else. I've had the pleasure of using this, or something very similar, on 2 occasions where some drunk dude was starting shit. Both times it completely de-escalated the situation and the asshole ended up staying around and playing pool for a few hours with the same group he was being an asshole to. Get right in their face and drop something like this. You're either gonna get punched, or be the hero. Either way, you win. I was with a few people in a small group, including a very wealthy businessman. One of the guys on the group made a pretty crude comment about a woman that walked by. The businessman put his hand on the guy's shoulder but said calmly, "We'll be best friends if you never say that again." It was so polite but also powerful. That's a fucking power move right there. Businessmen businesses. Oh man, I once had a football coach who was the biggest asshole. He was the epitome of the dickhead coach, save that he was younger and in good shape. One day on the way to practice, as we traveled in groups to the field which was a few blocks away, we were waiting at a no-look light, and some girl passed by. One kid did something assholic. I don't remember if he wolf whistled or hooted or said something, but it was clear he did it. Coach goes, "You do that?" Kid goes, "What?" Coach says, "Go home." Kid is confused. Coach asks, "Are you stupid? Go home. Put your helmet in the locker room and you'll find out if you're still on the team tomorrow." Took a minute for it to settle in, but the kid left. No clue who he was, so I have no idea if he stayed on. Did gain a lot of respect for that coach that day. Coach asks, "Are you stupid? Go home. Put your helmet in the locker room and you'll find out if you're still on the team tomorrow." That is a warning, not a verdict. Do it again, and you know the consequence. Exactly. If the kid is any sensible or loves the sport, he'd accept the one-day reprimand and mend his ways.
Hello. Busy people, please do subscribe.